central energy. We've got the Eight of Cups. Somebody's disappointed. They're getting left behind. In the challenge position. The Emperor. In the subconscious. Lovers, Two of Cups, and the Devil. Somebody's disappointed. They're getting left behind. They're being abandoned. They're abandoning a project. They're challenged by this Emperor, which is offering protection and a stable foundation here. Disciplined. In their subconscious, they're thinking about unions and their codependence and ties with this devilish energy. Perhaps how they've had their unions before. In the recent past, get more clarification. In the recent past, we've got the Ten of Cups, unions. So these unions have come together in the spirit, and somebody is disappointed because they didn't qualify, because they were all about binding unions to the devil. So they don't get it. Ten of Cups, unions, intentions, and expectations. Ten of Pentacles, they're getting the inheritance. We got some folks who apparently want to shut us up. Prophets, prophetesses, oracles, diviners, psychics, telepathically connected to Source, to the Most High. These devils want to shut everybody down. In the near future. We've got the Knight of Wands. Somebody's being impulsive. The lens is being looked through. The Hierophant. In the environment. The High Priestess. Hopes and fears. Nine of Cups. The outgoing energy. Well, this came out and it flipped into the reverse. Imbalance. We have an imbalance. So we've got some folks out there, they do not want to cede. They want to dominate and control everything. If you do not agree, if you do not go along, there will be a consequence. We can see that manhandling happening right now. And it appears to me as though they're coming up with some sort of an excuse to create war with indigenous people. And they're using drugs as an excuse. First, it was citizenship. And now it's this. And the thing is that God has stated that the land was going back to the indigenous people. And that is why somebody and some buddies are focused on them right now. Ooh. And the fire won't go the freak out. Did you see that? It's all over the place. So now we've got a freaking explosion of fire. See, God has said that this land, this territory is going back to the indigenous people. And we've got a strategic effort to do harm to that group of folks right now. Somebody's enemy appears to be God. Because God said this land is going back to the indigenous people, but we have a whole bunch of people out there doing a whole lot of harm to the indigenous people. They're pissed off that God wants to take what they have stolen from other people and give it back to those that they had stolen it from. And there's fire every freaking where. As you can see, we got some issues. Apparently, somebody refused an opportunity for peace. They want to go to war. And it's coming on. There's no real strategy because they're not in charge. They're trying to counter. So we've got illusions. Somebody's under an illusion, or they have got wishful thinking about this abundance here. They're out of balance. They're still trying to manifest this financial opportunity. They got a lot of things going. They're juggling a lot of things. And we've got sacrifice. They are willing to unalive a lot of people in order to make this go away. They don't want people waking up and coming closer to God. They don't want people waking up to the fact that this isn't a 3D war. This is a spiritual war that has already been won in the ethers, and now it's time for everybody to pay up. But rather than do that, they would like to go nuclear on everybody's flesh temples and stop them from actually taking over the territory. That's exactly what this is. God has promised the land to the indigenous people, and we've got people who have stolen that land and they don't want to give it back. It's exactly what's happening here. This has nothing to do with drugs. And everything to do with indigenous people not getting what the God has said they're going to get, and it has everything to do with the divine feminine stars and the divine masculine sons, who these ones wish to obtain allegiance of. And if you're not going to fall in line and pledge allegiance, then they're just going to do away with you. This is a war on the citizens who aren't going to fall in line with their agenda. I'm sorry to say, it simply is. Somebody's disappointed because God's walking away from them. They're walking away like they're getting left behind. They don't, the lie didn't work. They weren't able to use the suns and the stars that they had trapped into the shadows, into the dark spaces as a stepping stool. The illusion got busted wide open, and they're seen to be a fraud. We've got labor in the reverse. So somebody's getting left behind because they did not do the work to improve themselves and to earn this reward. All they did was destroy stuff with war and such. Exactly what they're doing now. So they're disappointed. Whatever work they did not work. It's failing. They didn't do the work. They're challenged by the emperor here and the high priestess and the hierophant. Justice. They're challenged because the emperor is delivering justice. Now, apparently, these ones were just offered a peace offering. They refused it and said that they were going to shut the temperance angels down in any way that they can. We got an outcome here with temperance in the reverse. We'll get more clarification. Right now, what they're thinking about is these lovers and the devil. The devil wants to control the sexuality of partnerships because that energy is a valuable commodity to the dead who don't have any energy. Those who are chained to the dead. We've got objectivity. They want these couples chained to the devil. We've got objectivity, and I always forget what that is. Thinking, feeling, and behaving, balanced, stable, and rational. So they're thinking about these couples, these power couples, who are dealing with this devil here rationally, stably. They're not freaking out. They're fully rational about this devil and whatever catastrophe they're trying to throw out. Prophecy? Yeah, so it's time for divine love to be in the territory. It was prophesied. And before these fools give it back into this prophecy, they would rather destroy everything. Why? Because they got big tunnels under the ground. And they got centuries of, well, maybe not centuries, but they got enough food and seed and living supply down there to last for quite some time. They think that they're going to do just fine. Although this is a different reset than before, apparently. Before, the resets were partial. Apparently, this one is going to be all the way, and they have just refused the opportunity for peace. So you got the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. It was prophesied that there would be a shift happening now at this time. The labor that this passion, this wand fellow, this F-boy was doing didn't get the results that they were hoping. They thought that all the power was in this sex. Competition. So we've got competition. Somebody's competing with you for your wealth. We got this Knight of Wands. He's out there waving his freaking appendage out, hoping somebody's gonna bite. Entertainment. Could be an actor, or it could just be an F-boy who's, entertained by, however many freaking bodies they can stick it in. The Hierophant's here. Driver. So the Hierophant's in charge. God is in charge. God is driving the show, or he's dealing with the driver, the manipulator, that's trying to compete for the wealth that is coming to this Emperor, High Priestess, and Divine Unions. This devil doesn't want to let it go. They don't want to let it go. They would rather destroy everybody than let it go, because they think if they destroy everybody, they think that they can do some ghost buster ensnarement kind of soul trap or whatever on the people. Got the High Priestess here and the Hierophant. We've got addiction. So the High Priestess, she's what, dealing with somebody who's addicted? She's dealing with addictions. She knows about addictions. She can tell who has addictions. The Hierophant is here with that driver. The driver is addicted to driving the high priestess. The driver is addicted to driving the Hierophant. Those who have sacred connection to God. They're coming into their 9 of Cups life of luxury. They are pissed. It was not supposed to go this way. They were so cocky. No pun intended. We've got sovereign and religion. So we got a life of luxury is coming to a sovereign being or beings. You've got religion here also. We're going to get more clarification on that. Temperance is in the reverse. Addictions. Somebody's addicted to this high priestess keeping balance for their low-life, lazy ass, excuse my language, entertainment, F-boy mofo. So you got this religious masculine all up in this sovereign woman's space. Look, he's looking away from her and she's looking right at him. She's like, I see you, you mofo. Look at that look on her face. Wholesome. Wholesome. Martyr in the reverse. So somebody's out of balance. They're in temperance reversed energy because the wholesome person or people are not martyred. They're not able to martyr them. They're not able to martyr the wholesome. And that's a feminine on the card. So they're out of freaking balance. Going to extremes. They've been talking about the backyard. They're going to go spy. They're sending out a spy to get information about somebody's backyard access or circumstance. And they're supposed to go back and report to their group of masculine superiors. They're supposed to be careful. As I was getting into my car, I had to go use the restroom before I left work because I thought I might have to fight with somebody who hopped the fence or something. And as I was getting in my car, I heard, you don't pull on Superman's cape. You don't speed out into the wind. You don't fool around with the Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim Slim. Do, 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 do. So somebody's thinking about messing around with somebody's backyard. They want to try to find access. They're talking about doors. What does the door open into, right? What room does the door open into? They want to know the layout of the house. These are astral projectionist, remote viewing, psychic spies trying to get the layout of a divine feminine's home. They want to come into the backyard where they can do some shady business without being seen by the public. We got a teacher playing around. Horseplay. The only thing they got going for them is a desire to control. That's the devil energy. We've got kin, invisible. Here and now, visiting. Fighting, creating conflict with love. It's you are being defended and forgiven and remembered. These ones took away your solid foundation, your security. They left you roaming around like a little gypsy, absent father, absent husband, absent brother, absent anybody that would protect you. Haunted. It could be that they disconnected you from your purpose. That's their intention now. But you don't take any shortcuts, and your shine is, whoo, honey, you're hot. And this explorer is using Ouija board. They could be doing something with innocence and the spirits and whatnot. They could be doing something with these children that they had sacrificed into this space. as messengers, giving them a promise. A witch is giving them a promise that they will be able to make an appearance or have a life or whatever if they find out what's going on with this location and what kind of things are there. So this entity is using spirits through the Ouija board. They're trying to get them to come into the home of somebody. This emperor is here, and this wholesome person. See, they weren't able to martyr this wholesome person. And then you've got this sovereign woman here, and this damn religious masculine right here with the life of luxury. It's like they're competing with her. They wanted to martyr her, and they couldn't do it. They can't do it. They're addicted to this high priestess energy. They're afraid. There's a tribe here that is afraid because you are arcana. You absolutely are arcana, and you can keep yourself clean and pure and sanctified no matter how much hardship they pile onto you. Yeah. You were observed. You learned a lot. You didn't do anything to deserve this. Those privileged people who came against you, they could be going into the grave, or their sense of privilege is going into the grave, because you are who you say you are. You accept things as they are. You create peace wherever you go. This is your space. And these ones are just hoity-toity jackwagons who want to F around, fight with people, and lead people down a path of addiction and control. Martyring people for profit, for entertainment, pretending to be you. So they were pretending to be you. There's a backstory of this personality, this vain personality who martyred you in a previous cycle, and they're trying to do it again. They're trying to do it again. Right now, this person is spying on the psychics. They're getting their messages, and they're behaving as though they have a direct link to God, source, and they don't. God's source is their enemy. They're sicking this religious masculine onto this divine feminine, this wholesome person that they are unable to martyr. They failed. These men. We've got congratulations. You were able to self-preserve from the efforts of this snake. And you are a creator. And you're coming into eternal love and leadership. So you get to say yes or no. What comes, what goes. This is your purpose, your service. And these ones were letting in any old low-life jackwagon rapist that they wanted to for a profit. Anybody who was willing to pay. Anybody who was willing to extract suffering energy for this demon lord that they worship. And martyr people too. For entertainment. But it failed this time. Why? Because passion little boy, little F-boy here, wasn't able to get a connection. So somebody's spying on your home. They're trying to peek. We've got a wise guy that wants to communicate. They want to fight with you. They want this pathway of importance. They want it. And it's time for this shift to happen. They're delaying, once again, they're trying to delay the rise of the feminine, the divine feminine, who God is lifting, the high priestess. And the emperor is right here, lifted as well. He's choosing his own folks. And you've got this religious cult here of entertainment, the actors and actresses, pretenders, who are in a temperance reversed energy, bringing war. And they're going to unalive a whole bunch of flesh suits. And unfortunately, God's just going to have to claim those energies and then relocate them to another place within the limitless numbers of universes, while this little devil gets to wander the halls of his tunnels for a while. We've got these ancestry horse playing around with your happiness and your body. Happiness haters. There's a change here. Attention has been brought to the drama that they do to people with the expectation of taking their life. Now, you survived, so you are here. You're like shining brightly. You're like huge compared to everybody else. And you are a self-care, brilliant, wholesome person that they're trying to unalive and martyr and obtain the energy and the identity of. They want your position. They want your seat as a sovereign, wholesome person. But this is religious entertainers who could not martyr you. It's so freaking disgusting. You're a wholesome sovereign being, and you've got these freaking addicts who are addicted to driving your life and managing the high priestess's life. And they're nothing but freaking rapists, murderers, and whores, thieves, who want once again to bury this feminine, wholesome mother figure, the divine mother that God is lifting us into an ascension, giving her back her dignity and her voice. And these masculines who could just go around and take them and grab them and do whatever they want with them whenever, you know. They hate God because God says that's not right. We've got rules. Some things are forbidden. And you got this jackass who thinks that they're in charge of everything because they had control of this high priestess's mind for a while, and they lost it. They've lost everything. They're so used to winning with her energy, with the energy of high priestesses and empresses, wholesome, loving, innocent, and pure people, that when they lost it, you know, they still have that mindset that they can do whatever they want to do. They think that the forces, the low vibrational, brutal, murderous forces that they have working with them will overcome God and love and sovereignty and a sense of dignity and fairness and desire of plenty for the community, balance. You know, wholesome people are really kind of sick and tired of dealing with this kind of crap coming around, wanting to F everybody over in this stupid energy, unpredictable, impulsive, self-gratifying. They're getting left behind. Their labor did not work. They failed. We got holding back in the reverse. You're not holding back. You're expressing yourself as you want to. There's no holding you back. They could not hold you back. High priestess, sovereign, wholesome, loved by God, chosen by God, protected by the emperor. There's a union here. The emperor is delivering justice all over this jackwagon. They have refused the opportunity for peace. Of course, now it's like, war, we're at war, and it's about drugs. Well, bullshit. Dude's going to war with God. It's showing up in the 3D. He's attacking the indigenous people because God intends to give everything back to them. I'm not into politics. I'm into what energy or entity is inside the flesh suit. And they're not all human. They're not who they say they are. You know? Reunion. There's justice for this reunion. The emperor is here. He's delivering justice to these devils. Steady, stable. These lovers are here. Unified love, the marriage connection. So they're here in reunion, and together these sovereign, wholesome people are with God, Mother, Father, High Priestess, Hierophant in the new chapter. This new chapter will be, what was that? Damn it, I can't, why don't I have, I know why I don't have one of them memories that memorizes everything. Because I've been through so much trauma, God has gifted me with short-term memory, so I don't have to remember the achy stuff that these ones do. It's so wonderful. It really is. Anyway, yeah. We got thinking, feeling, and behaving balanced, stable, and rational. So, thinking, feeling, and behaving balanced, stable, and rational. So these lovers, this marriage connection, the devil is very much codependent and wants to bring toxicity to it. We've got a new chapter which is coming, and it's going to be stable and secure. And this devil is right there thinking about it. His labor didn't work. It did not work. They could not hold you back. They could not hold you back. You got the land back. You're in. This is all in the ethers, and it's about ready to show up here in the 3D. And somebody wants to commit nuclear freaking war and chaos and unalive everybody because they don't want anybody being happy. They've already poisoned everything. Now all I got to do is blow it up. So that they'll go hide in their little tunnels like a little rat, and while everybody up here has to deal with nuclear fallout or some shit. Fortunately, though, we got a lot of people who are walking portals, and God and High Priestess, and, you know, we got, all you got to do is freaking open a portal and boom. Or as soon as there's some freaking nuclear fission or whatever, it's like, boom, you're going to wake up in your new home. These ones are so mad because as prophesied, you've got the 10 of Cups. You've got the land. There's gossip here. They're gossiping here about how these ones did not appreciate the beauty that you offered or the beauty that was here. Mother Nature provided everything that everybody needed, and these ones decided to suck the lifeblood out of her soils and create synthetic stuff with it. Toxic, and fill the bioform with it. We've got the 10 of Pentacles here. So everybody's talking about how they didn't appreciate the beauty. They just wanted the money. They wanted to run around and hit people with sticks and say, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to, what did they do? What did they do to the indigenous children? They put rubber bands or whatever around their wrists until their hands turned purple and freaking godly men. So you've got competition here. There's two masculines on this card. They're looking at your wealth. And we've got indecision in the reverse. This card says, I know my inability to make a decision hurts you. So it's like, you know exactly what you're going to do. They're here this devil is here trying to compete with you. You know exactly what you're going to do, or they know exactly what they're going to do. The same thing they always do. Knight of Wands, going to go out and be passionate, be fearless, be impulsive for entertainment. They're going to go put on a show. They're going to go get the script, and they're going to go flirt, and they're going to catch one. They're going to catch it. Unfinished business. They're going to catch it if they have to sneak into the backyard and break in a window. The Hierophant is here. He could be the new driver. He could be driving this show. God's in charge. He's dealing with somebody who is trying to drive the show. It's so freaking wild to me how you got this person claiming to be, you know, a faithful religious person. People are going to get led down the wrong path. Look, I don't want to fight with you. If you think differently than I am suggesting here, I'm not going to fight with you. And if you try to fight with me, I'm just going to block you, okay? Because just because. So the Hierophant is here. God is here dealing with the driver whose values were all about money. Our values are not the same. Now God wants family, wants love, wants strong generational trees, you know, the continuation of humanity and this thing we call life and responsibility, creation, you know, creation in its continuation of evolving. These guys aren't interested in evolving. They're interested in pomp, circumstance, script, proper words. Oh, you know, and you got to listen to what they say, and it's all so very whatever. Oh, right. It's the same stuff in that Bible, man. It's all about war and doing as you say, as you're told, and then, you know, going to somebody like this and then asking them to give you what? God's right here. God's right here. The high priestess is right here. The one that they're addicted to. The one that they're addicted to tapping the mind of. Tagging the energy of. God's fighting a war with some freaking entity pretending to be a human being in a man's suit. We're gonna have nuclear fission, baby. Oh, this is gonna be great. They don't want peace. They're addicted to you. They're addicted. They're addicts, man. They don't want peace. They want entertainment. This isn't entertainment, God. Freaking time traveler. Addicted to your destiny. Oh, high priestess. You're very, very sensitive to these people who are addicted to trying to steal your destiny. They're right there. These addicts. They're addicted to your energy. They're addicted to your mind. They're addicted to the gifts that were bestowed upon you by the Most High. Because you are that magnificent energy that can manage it responsibly. And then you've got these freaking addicts out here trying to freaking martyr you and take your special gifts and command your energy. They don't even have the responsibility to manage their own self. They want to destroy every freaking thing. They can't create shit except maybe an illusion. And right now that's all falling apart too. They're gonna send SWAT. Shut that woman up. She's laughing at us. Oh, they thought it was funny. Oh, they think it's funny. You're a sovereign freaking being. High value. Sovereign. High priestess. Wholesome. And you got this religious guy and his girlfriend here. Reminiscing. Addicted to the destiny of this woman. They're out of balance. They couldn't martyr her. Oh, they're so pissed off. They're going to do a 3D red rum. They're going to go pull Superman's cape. They're going to go spit into the wind. Yeah, we're not dealing with no third parties. There's no third parties. They're in a complete temperance reversed energy, because we got this wholesome woman here who's alive. They could not martyr her, and she's not a third party. She's not doing any of that crap. She's very wholesome. She's probably just managing her own energy and not letting any jackwagons touch it, because they're filthy with their intentions and their energy. Look, why would she ever want that to touch her? This is who she is. She's a freaking sovereign, wholesome person, man. She's like, get out of here, F-boy. What are you doing? What are you doing? She's like, look, I know who you are. Look, I'm not entertained by you. I don't find you intriguing at all. Please stay away. We got an unexpected outcome. Somebody wants an escape, or maybe you escaped and they're upset about it. They want to have a conversation. They missed their opportunity to have a conversation. They have just chosen to reject peace. Talks are over. We're not talking anymore. You missed your opportunity. You chose your habitual patterns of being lustful and being a thief and martyring your intimate partners and leaving them alone in some kind of solitary confinement. So we've got commitment. However you treated, whatever you're committed to is what you're going to get back. All of that commitment of martyring people, stealing their stuff. You are so freaking committed. It's all coming back to you. You made a lot of mistakes. You've been found guilty. You're in regret. You wish it had never happened, but whatever. You can't separate this wholesome sovereign being from love, and God is love. These people are unworthy of being connected to responsible families, because they're all about sex. They sexualize everything. Everything. This wholesome sovereign being loves themselves. And these ones who were daydreaming secretly about this person, they want forgiveness because they're getting detached. They're getting detached. Or maybe they want forgiveness because they were not satisfied with the way things were going, so they detached. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And then they spent forever chasing after your freaking destiny in disagreement with your soul contract. You got a soul contract here. They don't agree with it, whatever. They could not martyr you. They tried to martyr you, but you weren't a third party hoe. You're probably celibate. You probably purify all the damn time, because that's what sovereign high priestesses do. They manage themselves well. While you got these addicted tyrants entertaining themselves, whipping around their schwang, hitting pocky sticks everywhere. Yeah, you got egotistical, whatever, wants to mend the connection, but it's too late for them to do anything at all when it comes to soul ties. Sorry about that. I had a laugh attack. Oh my gosh. I don't know what happened there, but it felt good. Somebody's going to be mad. I think that's what I was laughing about inside. These guys are so freaking mad. And I know who their enemy is, and it's sickening that they're actually trying to pretend that they're anything. Oh my God. Well, God's taking care of it. God is taking care of it. They're gonna get a huge smackdown. Last night I saw a vision. There was a masculine there, and he had a green, like a lizard head. Not quite like a gecko head, because the snout was a little more narrow and pointed, but he had a green lizard head. And he was getting slapped. Boom, boom, boom. He was getting slapped so hard, he's getting that crap slapped out of him. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Now, just be prepared, because there will be some major destruction, most likely. You know, anybody who's not willing to say, you know, bend and say, you know, whatever. I don't know. We got religion, and then we've got some kind of leadership that they're pairing up, or their will, and they're gonna insist that people bow to them as the authority. And the problem is that we've got a lot of suns and stars out there who are directly linked to Most High God, Mother, Father, Goddess. They embody greater wisdom. Their crowns have been reconnected, and they're on fire. And they want to shut them down. We got anxiety. So they're getting left behind here. 8 of Cups. The labor that they did is in the reverse. It didn't work, or it backfired, whatever. They could not hold you back. They're having anxiety because they don't know what you're going to do next. We've got the Emperor here in the challenge position, delivering justice. Reunited. The other day, I heard talk of the prodigal son. Here, reunited. Delivering justice on behalf of the Most High. We got rabbit hole in the reverse. So whoever this is, their labor didn't work or it backfired. Rabbit hole is in the reverse. You're not stuck in a crazy drama. You're reunited here. Justice is being delivered. The lovers are here. So we've got the marriage, the love connection, right? And you're looking at this devil here, this thing that with such a destructive behavior. Objectively, you're stable, you're calm, you're rational, and you're starting a new chapter. It's like they want chaos, right? They want everybody to be in chaos. They want everybody to worry. They want everybody to say, oh my God, you better sign. It's all your fault. Point fingers. Oh, duke it out. They want to get all the people to come into an alignment with sides. And then they want another civil war. And then they want to like have a nuclear fission. And then, everybody gets rebirthed into some freaking Cabbage Patch baby body or some form of an AI, whatever, for their new chapter. But there's a lot of people that are exiting out right now, and they could very well be martyred. I don't know what's going to happen, how God's going to handle this fight. Just going to have to wait and see, and continue to share the messages as they roll in. I mean, this is really interesting. So interested. I'm so grateful to be alive. This is wonderful. New chapter, escape. So the lovers that are here, now here's the thing, let's look at this again. The lovers that are here in a marriage connection, or whatever you want to call that, there's a proposal of kind. I think you're working together. This Emperor could be working with a high priestess. I don't know. Take it as resonate. Or this sovereign, wholesome person. And maybe this is Mother, Father, God. I don't know. We got some stuff going on. But so the lovers are here, and they're looking at this devil, right? This person who's addicted. Again, you've got the devil, and then you've got this addiction. The high priestess is dealing with this person who's addicted to her destiny. It's crazy. Crazy. So these couples, the power couples, or these new unions or whatever, you're looking at this devil, and as long as you stay balanced and stable, in your thinking and feeling, then your love will get you an escape, and you'll go into this new chapter. But the tactic appears to be of these ones right now to generate some kind of war to get everybody out of this stability, this rationality, because that's how they'll pull them back into the trap. Let your love and your peace settle you. So you got this 10 of Cups, divine love. It was prophesied. It is here. People are gossiping about how these ones did not appreciate the beauty of you. All they wanted was to suck the energy out of you and then go be high on life, right? Now there's a struggle here. They didn't appreciate the beauty of you. They could have caused some kind of struggle, or maybe they are struggling now because, as prophesied, these unions have occurred, at least in the ethers. And now God is here with the high priestess, and he's bringing it. He's bringing it. And somebody has an enemy that they hate. But they're tricking people because they got this person here. They got this person here who's backing them, who's leading it up as the man of God, and blinding people that the mother and the father are right here. To anybody who has eyes to see, soul to feel, mind open. No fear. No fear. You can't be afraid, because if you get afraid, then that means you're not in love, and that means you're willing to do whatever the nearest mouthpiece is going to tell you to do, especially if they start trying to martyr you, which they're not going to be able to do, wholesome person. 10 of Pentacles. These people are in competition, or perhaps you're looking at these two masculines here who want to compete with you. You know exactly what you're going to do. You know exactly what they're going to do. We got distant. So far away. They could be far away from you. But look, you've got two masculines competing with you for your 10 of Pentacles. For your wealth. But they're not just competing with you, sun and star, wholesome sovereign beings, chosen ones of God, psychics, telepaths, transmitter receivers, voices of the divine. Ooh, incoming message. Okay, let's talk about it, everyone. You know? So you got Knight of Wands out there. They're being impulsive. This entertainer. They could be an entertainer, or maybe they're doing what entertains them, and that is being passionate. Weed seed, not willing to settle down or be responsible, unfinished business. The Hierophant is here dealing with this driver, or maybe he's driving values. Maybe he's driving values. He's in charge of what is acceptable. Society and its rules. He is driving the money. He is driving the values. God is in the seat right now. But God has some traitors out there glorifying themselves as, you know, gods. They don't come right out and say it. Lost. So the driver whose values were all about money has lost. Got the Hierophant here regarding society and its rules. We've got driver whose values were all about money, lost. It could be that this is a Hierophant who was a driver. Take it as it resonates. But we've got the High Priestess here. Divine Feminine. Somebody is addicted to her destiny. We've got empty vessel. They want her destiny to be an empty cup. Some addict wants this High Priestess destiny to be an empty cup. She's got high morals. She's getting a 9 of Cups. She's a sovereign being. And we've got a religious fella here reminiscing about inside jokes. He could be an empty vessel, addicted to her energy, addicted to her divine authority and her destiny. He wants it. He wants it. He may have known her in a previous life. Tempted by the freaking snake. Tempted by the snake. She wasn't. She's still a High Priestess. And he's just an F-boy who's in temperance reversed energy. because this wholesome person, this woman, they were not able to martyr her. She's not a third party hoe. She's pure. And they broke all their damn promises to her. She's not dealing with third-party hoe bags. This religious person reminiscing about the inside jokes about being tempted by the snake. Ooh, F-boy. We can just go have whatever we want. Dime a dozen. Oh yeah, look at this is a candy store and we're in charge. She's not dealing with these third-party hoes who tried to unalive her, martyr her, who did probably in a previous life. They broke all their promises. They didn't protect her. The Most High himself, when he got here, said that they betrayed. They were supposed to protect, guide, and remained close to God. And instead they got tempted by the snake and decided that feeding light-bearing beings to the shadow was the way to keep balance in the world. It's the only way to do it. Playing games with love, neglecting them, leaving them alone, and grieving. Now they got to face it. Now they got to face it. They made life really, really hard for diamonds. Diamonds. The wealth of the freaking cosmos. They made life hard for, and now they're going to lose it. They're losing everything. They're going to lose their wish come true. They're going to lose it, and God said they can't get it back. She will not give it back. No. They got a long, long road to find before they find what they want. This is a crazy blind spot. They didn't see it. They're reaching out, trying to connect to love. Their empire is crumbling, and things are getting real rough for them. They're feeling crushed, emotionally crushed. It could be that there will be many flames drowning in need. You know, so they're gonna create some kind of a catastrophe. There's gonna be some kind of a war, damage. They gotta cause freaking chaos and bring everybody into a south node suffering. That's how they win the energy. You know, they're happiness haters. People who are happy, people who are joyful and in love are too freaking free to make decisions for themselves, you know? They're not afraid. And they need people afraid so that they'll do what they're told. So they'll follow the leader. So that they lose their senses. It's those egregores or egregories, you know, people, these, what are they, tuplas or whatever they're, I don't know. You create a thought form and then you start feeding it stuff. And that's like what they've done. And they want these sovereign, wholesome people and all their 10 of Pentacles and all their 10 of Cups and all their 9 of Cups. They want them all going into that black hole. But you didn't get into the rabbit hole. You're not stuck in the crazy drama. You're out of it. Together again. This is a powerful couple. They've been fighting really, really hard to keep them apart. They were not able to martyr the wholesome feminine of this thing here, this pairing. Couldn't martyr her. She's not a third party hoe bag. They broke their promises to her. She's free. And they're out of balance. They're out of balance, and they're going to destroy as much as they can on their way out. They were talking the other day about how they go out. They're going out. And others are coming in. Apparently, God's calling, what's he doing? He's calling in the planets. Calling in the planets or something like that. Like starseed, you know, home base, you know, where your spirit and your soul come from, your astrological whereabouts, coming here for a lesson. And these guys set a trap up, and they decided that they were just going to siphon the life out of everybody who came here to try to learn, right? So they made a trap. And the trap broke. It didn't work. They lost command of this high priestess's mind, which means that they lost the power source that gave them spiritual authority. Now all they have is brutality, because the illusions aren't working anymore. They don't have her energy or her mind. Surrender. They're getting left behind. The labor didn't work, or it backfired. They could not hold you back. They're having anxiety. They don't know what's happening next. They got to surrender their need to control you. The Emperor is here delivering justice, reunited here with his person. They're not stuck in a rabbit hole. The labor worked. It backfired. Whatever magic or labor or whatever they were trying to do, they were not able to get this reunited pair stuck in a rabbit hole. They're not there. And they're not in crazy drama. They know the way. They know what they're doing. And the thing about this is that some of you have been in such dark, painful circumstances for such a long time that, you know, you just learn to be in that space. And, you know, if you love to be happy, then you be happy wherever it is you are. So now, whatever happens, you're just going to like breathe into it. But they're talking about like doing some kind of a ambush. Be aware. Love. So the Emperor's here delivering justice. These pair who are reunited, they're not stuck in crazy drama or in any rabbit hole, and they are committed to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So they are love. They are love. They are love. They are love. And this devil here, who is they're addicted. They're being very destructive right now. They're codependent, and they're behaving very, very stable. Now they could perhaps be bringing, the power of two. You folks out there in your power couple unions, you might be, with this objectivity card, in your partnership and mutual effort, you may be bringing a sense of balance and stability to the thinking and feeling and behaving when it comes to this devil, right? Just be rational. We've got people who like to create chaos so that they can harvest the loosh. If you remain in love and you remain rational, then you're going to get your new chapter, and it's not going to be any big deal. If you use rationality, you know, if you just don't get all riled up, don't feed into the war thing, you know, that's what they want. They want war energy, chaos energy, destruction energy. But if you breathe and you be this sovereign being, you know, hierophant, high priestess that you are, you're just there, regal, royal, dealing with chaos and freaking toxicity that's codependent on your energy. They need you to do whatever needs to be done, because you are the one that has the energy that it requires. But if you stay in love and you don't give them the war energy, like if you don't get into the south node, if you don't flip, right, and then give them all that unsettled, unstable, war, I'm going to destroy, you know, get vengeance stuff. You know, vengeance is the Lord's, and the Lord is here delivering it. And you got somebody wanting to pop back at him. You got somebody wanting to pop back at God right now. And they want you to deliver it. And if you don't, then they're probably going to threaten to hurt you, and they may even do so. This is a straight out of the freaking Bible thing again. Where they were warned that if they followed him, that they would be martyred or something like that. I don't remember exactly how that goes, but the followers of Christ or whatever. And then you hear around the world, you got some folks wanting to rein in the Christians. They're too free thinking. They're too connected to the source, thinking for themselves, living freely, singing their soul song. And they're like, whoa, we got to rein this in. We got to get people afraid. And if they're not afraid, then we need just to take them out, because they want this property. This territory has already been redistributed in the spirit. And they're desperately trying to hold on to it here in this realm. And they don't mind turning it into a barren wasteland. So extremely childish and selfish. Irresponsible, traitor, and betrayer of the Most High. We got doubt. So love, this says, I release the need to know all the answers. So if there is doubt, you release the need to know all the answers. You remain in love, and you remain calm in temperance energy, and you're going to get your new chapter just fine. The devil might be having doubt because you are so trusting of God. Friendship. 10 of Cups, total love and support. It was prophesied. People are gossiping about how they did not care about you at all. They could be struggling. Or maybe your friends caused you struggle. Supposed friends. You're coming into your 10 of Pentacles here, and we got competition. There's 2 masculines on that card. We've got indecision in the reverse. So you know exactly what to do. There's somebody that is distant. So they're physically distant, and they're not in balance. They're out of balance. They're in a temperance reversed energy because you're free, and because this all went down in the ethers already, and now God's here in the 3D, and he's bringing the smackdown. We're going to have a war. These ones are going to feed so many conspiracy theories into the thing, but you can just know that those who have the microphone right now their enemy is God. And I don't care who they say they are. They could not martyr this high priestess because she's not a third-party hoe bag. She's probably very, very pure. Probably doesn't even involve other people in her energetic signature because they're all like this. So you got a Knight of Wands, right? Mr. Passion, Mr. Impulsive. He's entertainment. He could be an actor, or maybe he's just, used to playing a script. What is that song? Wanna be your lover? Lover boy? Unfinished business. They weren't willing to settle down or be responsible. They're drifting out there. We've got abundance. Abundance. See, now they want to commit and put down roots. I heard this the other day. I heard first time, like somebody was trying out what it would be like to be with a woman or something. It's like this is a group of bros, you know, that hoe down with each other or whatever, and they're trying to switch teams because they want to stick around and they want to take part in this abundance. Their values are all about money. The Hierophant is here dealing with the driver, or maybe he's driving this, maybe he's driving those whose values are all about money into some kind of a deeper connection with the forest or something, because they lost. The Hierophant is driving those whose values are different. They want to get drunk. They want to have sex with the snake. They want to have sex with each other. They want to hurt people. We got imagination. So they lost control over consciousness. They lost control over consciousness. Ah, God, or this Hierophant, is driving those whose values are way too different and about money into a loss of telepathic connection, or they've lost their connection to telepathy land. They've been cut out of the field of consciousness. They no longer get to drive people. They no longer get to go into other people's fields of awareness and figure out what it is they're doing, what it is they're planning, who it is they're with. What do they like? What do they got going on? Are they going to invent something that's going to make them a lot of money? This is what they've been doing. They've been completely trespassing into the mental body of others and then hijacking their intellectual property. They had this high priestess trapped for centuries. But God, resurrected her and then led her back into an ascension. That's what these enemies had to say about it. So here she is. Dealing with those who are addicted to her destiny, these empty cups. They're being denied. There's a denial here. There's a denial. High Priestess has sacred knowledge and wisdom. She lived through a tremendous abuse. She could be dealing with those who are addicted to hijacking other people's destiny. It says, I am struggling to find the right path. So those who were addicted to find the right path, those who were addicted to hacking into people's minds with this imagination, they've lost connection. Their values were all about money, and they liked to drive people into failure. You know, get with them, get some kind of a relationship, drive them into failure, and then take what they targeted them for in the first place. So they've lost connection to the field of consciousness. This High Priestess is here. She's got high morals, high sensitivity, and now she's got sacred wisdom regarding what they did to her and others. So these people are addicted to finding the destined paths in the mental body of others. They go in the midnight hour or whatever, and they find somebody they like or whatever. So she's targeting them or identifying them or whatever that is, and they are in denial. Their cup is empty. They're not going to gain anything. She's not giving them anything. Those people who have been hijacking the destined paths of others because they wanted their money are being denied. She's getting a 9 of Cups, life of luxury, because she's a sovereign being. But we've got this religious person here, this masculine, who's reminiscing with his girlfriend here or whatever, about their jokes that they were making while they were being tempted by this snake. Empty vessel is being denied. They were busy hijacking other people's destinies. Look, they're untrustworthy. You can't trust them. She's like, I don't care if you got that religious garb on, garb on. I know who you are, what you did. You were tempted by the snake. You're untrustworthy. And they're out of balance, out of their intemperance reversed, because they cannot martyr this wholesome, sovereign woman, this high priestess. She's not a third party. They lied. And they broke every promise that they made to her. They were trying to steal her destiny. And they couldn't do it. So now they just want to destroy everything that she might be able to enjoy, including her flesh suit. If they can't have it, then they just want to unalive everybody. Have you met people like that in your life? These are very dangerous, usually masculines, that if they can't have you, nobody will, and they're gonna take you out. I ran into one of those early on. They're scary, man. So anyway, yeah, they're out of balance. They're completely out of balance because they could not martyr this wholesome, sovereign woman. She's not a third party. She's not playing third party games. She's not dealing with them at all because they break their promises. They never keep their promises, ever. Lying, cheating, hoe bags, which leads to success. So she doesn't deal with third party enemies. She's not making any deals with third party enemies because she knows they always break their promises, and that leads her to success. Because she knows that there's no greater goal than to love. And she knows who these are and what they've been doing and what they have tried and failed to do to her. That's the honest truth. She's here spilling the beans on honesty. Even when the whole world was lying on her, she was telling the truth in the records. And there they are. And these ones are in grief here. They're in grief because there is expansion in consciousness and awareness. These ones have lost control of the field of awareness. They've lost control of the consciousness of humanity. God is here claiming it, kicking them out. So there is going to be an expansion in consciousness and awareness. Like there's going to be a release of the program that the driver who is siphoning their wealth and their money and their ideas and their happiness and all of that out of. So there's going to be a great expansion, and relationships will move into a higher state, which serves a higher good. Oh yeah, this is going to be real good. And these ones are desperate to shut it down. They're desperate to shut it down. They're so angry that God, the Mother, Father are here. This entity tried to martyr this high priestess, sovereign, wholesome woman. And he failed. Because she's disciplined regarding her health, regarding her happiness, regarding her purpose. She knows that there's no greater goal than to love. She's very successful in managing herself well, despite the disturbances that these addicted personalities can bring to her. They're under judgment. The envious ones are under judgment. God is here bringing a smackdown, and they don't know what to do because there is a change happening. And this sovereign divine feminine and this emperor over here who has been reunited with her, the prodigal son, have their freedom, and all this negative energy is being released, and peace is going to be restored. People are in fear. They want forgiveness, and whoever this, this war department or whatever it is, they're in full-on intent of destroying everything and turning it into a wasteland, rather than letting this high priestess, sovereign, wholesome, beautiful, divine mother figure enjoy what God has given her. Enjoy her union with this emperor. They want to play games with love. They want to play games with love. They want to neglect you and leave you alone, grieving They want you afraid. They want you alone. They want you neglected. They want you without a home. And then they're going to tell you that homelessness is illegal. So we got leaving behind. The labor did not work. It may have backfired. They can't hold you back. They're having anxiety. They're having anxiety because you have found love that you can count on. They have to surrender their need to control you. It's over here, but they would rather unalive you than stop you from having this beautiful love. Then look, Mercury retrograde. They're having anxiety. They have to release their need to control you. They want to get you back. They have to go back. God has control over the timelines. Oh, that's the other thing. This high priestess, she is a goddess of time, or she knows she controls time. And God has her back, took back those gifts. These ones don't have that ability anymore, at least not through her. God has that. This Hierophant has that. It was one of the first things I channeled in August of 2024. That's Mother's song. Goddess of time. You had so much power, and these ones insisted that you did not know how to manage it. You being who you are, developing the capacity and the responsibility and the honor and the ethical and moral boundaries that you set for your own damn self. And these tyrants said that you weren't capable of managing it as the high priestess, sovereign, wholesome, beautiful, loyal, faithful, abundant, limitless being. I sure hope the illusion cracks. I sure hope people see this is, you know, I'd really like the people to see the truth. But if there's a catastrophe, which there will be, somebody's going to manufacture some full-on war freaking drama, and people are going to freak out because they don't think. You know? So the Emperor is delivering justice. He is reunited with his sweetheart. They are not stuck in a crazy drama rabbit hole. They are love. And this person whose labor is backfiring, they did some stuff. They tried to do some stuff, but it backfired, and they can't hold back this reunion. They can't. In fact, it's backfiring on them, and they are getting divorced out of this situation. It backfired on them. They tried to keep this reunion apart, but they can't get them stuck in a crazy rabbit hole because they are love. They love each other. They love each other. Oh, and that was the song from the other day that I woke up to. Oh, and I posted a video on it. Like, isn't it crazy what love can do? Like, somebody's shocked. They just can't believe it. Isn't it crazy what love can do? Look what love can do. This Emperor, High Priestess, sovereign, wholesome person, they did not get stuck in this rabbit hole because of love. Now, people, they all say, what is love to you? You know, you got to be all poetic or use some fancy words, or, you know, you got to be like this guy, and you got to have, you know, all the proper fancy words that, ooh, you know, bring on that kind of a thing. But These two, alone in love, and then together in love. Water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Somebody may be. We got the lovers there, unified love. Looking at this devil here with a calm, steady energy. They're remaining in love, releasing the need to know all the answers, and they're moving into this new chapter. There is a water sign here, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. There's 3 people here. It could be whatever. You got the 10 of Cups here, total love and support. It was prophesied. There's a lot of gossip going on about how these people did not appreciate the beauty that you brought. They would rather live in a wasteland. That's what they wanted to deliver to everybody, and that's what they're planning on delivering now. They would have done it either way. It doesn't matter to them. Just doesn't. So they didn't appreciate you. They made your life a struggle, or maybe they are struggling now. There could be friends here that are struggling, or maybe your friends are giving them reason to struggle. And we've got vacation. You will be traveling soon. You may be traveling soon, or there's going to be this separation here. You're getting into your 10 of Pentacles, and you've got competition with these 2 masculines. You know what you're going to do. They're at a distance, or maybe, and they're out of balance. So there's no balance. They're far away. These 2 masculines are trying to compete with you. Yeah. Sexuality. They don't have any balance. They don't have connection to this divine feminine energy. The divine feminine energy is what brings the balance, is what brings the gifts. They're out of balance. So they're acting impulsively as a Knight of Wands. Entertainment. There could be 1, 2, 3, 4 men, 5 men, counting the Knight, planning a thing. I heard some masculines talking earlier about the backyard. Somebody's going to scope out like entry, you know, the boundaries, the barriers, the risks, getaways, all that good stuff. You got these guys right here. 5 of them. So you got 5 masculines. They're scoping out, they're targeting a feminine, this feminine high priestess, sovereign, wholesome being, who is in a union here with this emperor. It looks like maybe they haven't quite met up here in the 3D. They feel that there's unfinished business here. We still have something to resolve. They weren't willing to settle down and be responsible, but they want to come in and take your abundance. High priestess. They want to bring you some sort of a defiling experience, a degrading experience, a suffering experience. They need to get you out of your sovereign energy. They need to claim your abundance. They're going to come and pull on Superman's cape. They're going to start spitting into the wind. They've been let go. You're an abundant, limitless being. You can manifest whatever you desire in this reality, and you have let them go. To make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. You've got this Knight and these 4 other masculines here planning like a gang something or other. They're scoping out the backyard, talking about windows, talking about doors, what room the door opens into. There we're talking about security, cameras. The Hierophant, or the Most High God, is here driving those whose values are different. They're just too different. They want money and you want sovereignty. And they have lost their connection to the field of consciousness that humanity shares. They can no longer tap into that. God has taken their gift away, severed their access. The only access they have is perhaps by those stars that are willing to be of service to them. The bamboozled ones who are willing to just go be vile and hateful and, you know, play their game. But they have, you know, gifts. And it could be that God recognizes this, and perhaps these gifts are being used inappropriately, and it could just very well be that these ones will lose that connection and that ability to serve these enemies of God that way. Yeah, we got distance. So they're at a distance. Air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. High Priestess is here, very, very sensitive to those who are addicted to struggling to take the destined path of others. It could be that she is using her intuition and her sacred knowledge of this trial, this challenging experience, and this consistent and powerful effort to retain her life and her status as was gifted to her by the Most High God. She deserves her life. She has so much beauty to share with this world. And you've got a bunch of addicts here trying to steal her destiny, but their cup is empty. They're not going to get fulfilled. They're in denial, or they're being denied. They're in denial. They're in denial. They're addicted to playing this role. They're addicted to playing this role. They might actually, in their narcissistic, misogynistic, freaking martyring, hoe bag mind, they might actually believe themselves to be a high priestess, running around in a man suit. Cocky. Patience, just a few more months. So this is going to go for a few more months. It's going to get, most likely, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. If you have extra funding available, you may want to go, you know, to the grocery outlet or, you know, Everyday Deals or wherever it is that you get your cost-effective canned goods or whatever, you know, and you might want to look for some sales and stock up on some things. Nine of Cups, a life of luxury is here for this sovereign, divine, feminine high priestess. This religious masculine is missing inside jokes with this snake, you know, and they're definitely not trustworthy. He and his friend there thought it was real funny to try to martyr this sovereign, wholesome high priestess. And now he picked a fight with God. He's running around here. He's running around here looking like that, right? He's running around there. Oh, I love serving that snake, he said. Absolutely untrustworthy. But here he is. Coming right up against God, who is driving this person, driving them into a loss. Disconnect. These guys lost favor. There's no more covenant. There's a new covenant, and the covenant is with this high priestess, sovereign, wholesome being. And these ones are so pissed off. In the ethers, everything is back. The land, the money, it's all back. in the 3D, it has to materialize, and these personalities, you know, these entities with personalities that they believe themselves to be this person because they've been doing it for centuries. But God found her and he lifted her up. He lifted her up, led her back into an ascension. I just think it's so fabulous, man. There's a freaking, the war that this person has is with God. I get to see it firsthand. We got front row seats, man. The war isn't with drug criminals. It's not. They rejected the opportunity to have what somebody said, a week of peace or whatever. They rejected it, and so now it's war. Right now, immediately, like there's and you can't explain it properly to the people. You know, they got to come up with some cockamamie story in order to go attack indigenous people with some heavy duty freaking weaponry that they probably won't be able to defend themselves from, because their idea is to reset, get rid of everybody in a flesh suit, everybody that God chose, all of the chosen ones. They said that if God did not give back this high priestess, sovereign, wholesome person, that they were going to sacrifice every chosen person. That's what this curator said a few days back. We're at war because God refused to surrender this high priestess who he raised up from levels that were deeper than her enemies thought she went. God's not giving her back. She's their power source. She's what gave them the power. And now all that information that she learned while being trapped here is now with God. We've got honeymoon in the reverse. There's no honeymoon. There's no trust. There's no honeymoon. The honeymoon phase is over. It is over. They're completely out of balance because they could not martyr this wholesome person. God said no. They sacrificed her. God resurrected her and led her back into an ascension. And she went low, 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 like deep, deep, deep. And so now she gets to go that high. And these guys are disqualified. They got to go through what she went through in order to qualify. And rather than do that, they're going to destroy everything. Or at least as many as necessary in order to still pretend like they're God and president or whatever. Emperor, king. But the real emperor and the real God is right here. That is funny, man. Oh, God, that's funny. Oh, I get to see it right up hand. All these, yeah, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. These guys, they got like a 5-man ambush right here. They've been discussing what your weak side is. They've been discussing vehicle maintenance. We've got a confession. Health. Move on. Challenges, guardian. So their health is at stake. There's a confession here. This wholesome person who they failed to martyr is successful. Okay. They broke all their promises. This wholesome person, they can't martyr because she is love. She is love. Heaven resides in this high priestess sovereign being. Love in excess is inside this person. Light, beauty is inside this person. So here's a confession. Got something to tell you. Health issues could arise if you don't move on. Move on down the road, because this person's guardian is going to bring you challenges. She's giving it time before there's intimacy as this cycle comes to a close. So, got to move on. There's no chance for a honeymoon. There's no chance for for an earth sign to get her pregnant. There's a fire sign who maybe she's a fire sign who knows that this is a gold digger trying to do magic and get lucky. This narcissist may be doing something with pets. Okay? Taking a gamble. Trying to communicate with you. They may even come up and try to approach you. Agent Smith, body hopping, shapeshifter, whatever. Because that's what they were talking about sending in, was a shapeshifter. Trying to get you to open up your heart so that they can come back. They want a commitment. Or maybe they are spying on your commitment. This third party little jackwagon, whatever. You're using your intuition. You could be moving, or maybe they are. Somebody's lying about a love spell. A liar may be trying to do a love spell. Maybe they lied about doing a love spell, trying to get a date night with you because they're being cautious. Somebody may be trying to get somebody to do a love spell on you, but they didn't do it. Maybe they lied and said they did. Oh. So yeah, we got confession. Health issues could arise if you don't move on because challenges will be awarded by this woman's guardian. It would be better if you just gave it time and checked out. All right, that's the confession there by the guardian. This is a long one. I'm sorry, guys. If it's too long, please just hit the fast forward or whatever. Because I'm entertained by the story. This is getting down to the nitty gritty. We're at war. We're at literal war. And it's not with drug dealers. It's with God. God said, you're going to give me back the territory. You're going to give me back what's mine. And this guy is popping up with this religious character. And they're saying, home doo doo doo, trying to get the support of all of the energy sources, the batteries here in this realm. And God already said that this is the end of their relationship with batteries. It's just done. And it's just done. But they will try to destroy as much as they can. They need people to be in a state of chaos. They need this scattered fear energy in order to get their labor to work. But we can see right here, the labor is in the reverse. It's not working. They can't hold you back. They cannot hold you back. So they have to go back. They have to surrender their need to control you. They're having anxiety. They have to go back. Their labor is going back. They can't hold you back. It's returning to them. You're out of here. You're out of here. Oh, they have to give you. Okay. So they're having anxiety. This is what's going on. They have hijacked this high priestess's role and energy and personality and status for centuries, or at least many life cycles. Okay? They're having anxiety because in the ethers, the land, the money has all been given back to her. God stood by and actually went out and got it, as well as this emperor and all of the other divine sons and stars, daughters and sons of God. So anyway, they have to surrender their need to control you and your future. And they're upset because they have to give back billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And rather than do that, they would destroy the world and all of the chosen ones that God said gets that money. They don't want to give back the money. They'd rather destroy the world and the people in it. They're at war with God. This politician and this religious character right here who was tempted by the snake are going to war with God, this high priestess, sovereign, wholesome woman, and the emperor. They have to give back billions of dollars, billions of land. billions of everything. She's the goddess of time, dimensions, realities, timelines. Oh. The Emperor is delivering justice, reunited and in love, committed to love. They're not stuck in a crazy drama. They're divorced out of this energy, out of this tyrant's false reality. They can go F themselves. They're not stuck in a crazy rabbit hole. They got themselves free, and now this tyrant can go F himself. F yourself, tyrant. So we got the Two of Cups here. Partnership, dealing with the devil. Steadily. Balanced, stable, rational. They're not jacked out of shape. And you can see that there are certain individuals, man, they're chomping at the bit. They're like foaming at the mouth. They want to go to war. They want to get this over with. They want to destroy, 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 dominate, dominate, dominate. You escaped. This Emperor, High Priestess escaped. They're here with God. This battle has already been won in the ethers. And there are limitless numbers of universes out there. And if these guys turn this place into a wasteland and unalive a bunch of people, then their frequency will just be latched onto and they will be pulled into a different universe. Since there are limitless numbers of them, and everybody will go to their frequency match and for their next experience. It's just going to be the way that it is. There'll be an extinction event, most likely. There's going to be a lot of people that perish, and their energetic signatures will go to the space and place within the limitless numbers of universes that are available in the Father's house. Triggered. You got a water sign here triggered. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. They are so triggered that you escaped and you get a new chapter, and that you don't even know all the answers. Even if they had access to your mind, they couldn't find out because it's hidden. They lost access to this High Priestess's mind. I think they lost access to the star seeds' minds, all of the suns and the stars. They were calling, somebody said that God is calling back the planets. And to me, that means star seeds. The spiritual soul complexes home, energetic home, like their base. This is a school, and these ones tried to turn it into a prison, and they're trying to do it again, and that requires that a whole bunch of people, perish. And they're hoping that somehow that they injected them with the proper nanoparticulates or the proper, CRISPR frequency or whatever that they can latch onto and then draw out, harvest, transport with their technology. So it's very important that you manage your energy very well, because if they can drive you into vengeance, they're probably going to be able to, like in a lump sum, grab a hold of a whole bunch of energies that are in that specific frequency. You got to manage yourself well, and you got to not pay attention to anybody who tells you that you're doing it wrong. Influencer in the reverse. So you got the Ten of Cups here. It was prophesied this was going to happen. There's a lot of gossip here that they did not appreciate the beauty that you offered. They did not appreciate your perspective on reality. They did not appreciate your high morals. They did not appreciate your divine feminine wisdom and your sacred connections and essence. You could have some friends here that are causing a struggle for some folks. Or maybe there are friends that caused you struggle. Maybe they're going through a struggle right now. We've got you will be traveling soon, and we've got influencer in the reverse. So it could be that those who did not appreciate the beauty that you offered this world are going to be traveling soon because they didn't support you. They didn't guide you.